The annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014 was a significant event that shook the geopolitical landscape of the world. We will explore how Putin annexed Crimea from Ukraine. The story of the annexation of Crimea starts in late 2013, when Ukraine was going through a period of political turmoil. President Viktor Yanukovych was facing widespread protests and demonstrations calling for his removal due to allegations of corruption and his pro-Russian stance. The situation escalated when Yanukovych decided to back out of a proposed association agreement with the European Union in favor of closer ties with Russia, which further inflamed tensions. As the political crisis deepened, pro-Russian separatist movements started gaining strength in Crimea, a semi-autonomous region in Ukraine with a majority ethnic Russian population. In February 2014, armed men in unmarked uniforms took control of key locations in Crimea, including government buildings and airports. The Russian government denied that its military was involved, but later admitted that its forces had played a role in the annexation. On March 16, 2014, Crimea held a hastily organized referendum on secession from Ukraine and annexation by Russia. The results of the referendum claimed that more than 95% of voters supported secession from Ukraine and annexation by Russia. However, the legitimacy of the referendum was widely criticized and questioned by international observers, with many citing widespread reports of voter intimidation and fraud. Following the referendum, Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a decree recognizing Crimea as a Russian territory, and Ukrainian officials were expelled from the region. The annexation was met with international condemnation, with many countries considering it a violation of international law, including the United States and the European Union, who imposed economic sanctions on Russia in response. So, how did Putin annex Crimea? The answer lies in a combination of political instability in Ukraine, pro-Russian sentiment in Crimea, and Russian military intervention. Putin saw an opportunity to assert Russia's influence in the region, and with the political crisis in Ukraine reaching its peak, he seized the moment. Putin's decision to annex Crimea was also driven by a desire to protect Russia's strategic interests, particularly its access to the Black Sea. The Black Sea is a crucial route for Russia's oil and gas exports, and its naval base in Crimea gives it an important foothold in the region. In conclusion, the annexation of Crimea by Russia was a complex and controversial event that involved political, military, and economic factors. Putin's decision to annex Crimea was driven by a desire to assert Russia's influence in the region and protect its strategic interests, and it remains a matter of dispute, with many countries considering it a violation of international law.